Go ahead, raise your hand if this is the first year you've been on a team with me. Yeah, so we had about half, I think, new players on this team. And whenever you're starting a season with half of your guys you don't know, you never know what you're in for. And a couple of these guys that have never been a part of this team showed up out of the blue and really made some impactful changes. So I'm gonna mention some of those guys. Even though you didn't win an award, I think you deserve some mention. So, hold on. I didn't write notes today, but, well, we'll start with Noah. Noah, this was your first year playing for us. Absolutely a game-changing player this year. Wouldn't have had the same amount of success if you weren't on the team, and so I'm so grateful that you were able to step up and join our team, and wasn't expecting to see you at tryouts, and you always love as a coach when you step up and there's a brand new guy and he's just knocking down threes from the white line to start. So thank you for your impact on this team. Yeah, you can clap that up. Caleb Brewer, you took a little 2-year vacation from basketball, but I was very grateful that you tried out this year and joined this team. This team would not have been the same. You brought a level of senior energy that I think we would have been lacking if you hadn't played, and so I appreciate that. Go ahead, clap that one up. All right, and then I'm going to dive straight into our individual awards. We're gonna kind of jump all around here, but another brand new guy to our team this year. I'm giving the Most Improved Player Award, and this guy again kind of showed up out of the blue. I remember we were running a fall workout, and I invited the guys, and I said, "Hey, just tell anyone that's planning on trying out to show up." And so this kid's here. He's knocking down some threes. He's playing pretty well. And my assistant coach Noah says, "Hey, you know that guy's your neighbor?" And I was like, "What?" I live up in Urbana, and I found out that Danny, you can step forward here. Danny lives like one house behind me, and I'd never seen him before, other than when I'm driving in my neighborhood and he's outside shooting foul shots. So like I knew instantly, I was like, I know that kid, and I know he's putting in work on his game outside the season, so I love to see that. Danny showed up, and we had an interesting start to our season. The seniors were there for one day of tryouts and then went on their senior trip to New York, and so we lost 5 of our players right away, and then some guys got sick, and so my second day of tryouts, instead of the 15 guys, we only had like 8, and so we were running and we were doing a little bit of scrimmaging, and I saw Danny step up and hit shot after shot after shot. I was like, oh, this new kid can play, and so he earned a starting role, but through the first half of the season, you're averaging about 5 points a game, doing his job running a point guard. First year as a coach that I've given the reins of the point guard over to a freshman. He did a really good job, but then something snapped inside of you about halfway through the season. We were playing at Maca, and Danny started lighting it up from 3. And I think he hit 3 threes in the Maca game, and we won that game. And then we came home and we played Heritage, and you hit 6 threes in the Heritage game. Had your first 20-point performance as a varsity player. Repeated that again a couple weeks later in a playoff game against Perry Hall. And I am so excited to see you as you continue to grow and develop and embrace this role on the team as point guard. So Most Improved goes to Danny. My next award is going to be the Coach's Award. And I don't think this one's going to surprise anyone at all. Every year as a coach, you have some players that you know their role instantly. And so you have players that you know are going to be impact players on the offensive end. You have players that you know are impact players on the defensive end. You know your guards, you know your forwards, you know your scorers, you know your shooters. But one of the roles that goes unnoticed often is the role that I call the hustle player or the everything award. The behind the scenes award, right? And this player has embraced that role over the last 4 years. As a coach, you don't win games without a guy that's willing to put their body on the line every single day of practice, every single game, to do the little things that no one wants to do, but that the team has to do to win. And so this year's Coach's Award is going to Carson Merriman. Carson, four-year basketball player, senior for us. Carson has embodied that role, and I've told these guys, I don't know which one of them is going to step up to replace Carson, but if we want to have the same amount of success that we had this year, one of you is going to have to do it, because you don't go 18-9 without a guy doing the stuff that Carson does. Carson has taken more charges than anyone I've ever coached. I think I still owe you like 8 sandwiches or something like that. But so he's taken more charges than anyone I've ever coached. He's boxed out better than anyone I've ever coached. He's had multiple double games, even though you're what, 5'10"? I'm 6'8", so all right, almost 6 foot, right? And so boxing out and getting rebounds over taller guys consistently. Had his season high this year against Perry Hall, 16 points. Carson, you did everything for us that some of these guys weren't willing to do. And because of that, we had a successful year. So Coach's Award goes to Carson Merriman. So we're going to talk a little bit about our season now, and we're going to do some of the season awards before we finish it off with 2 more awards. So our season, we were very successful. We went 18-9 with a great run at the end. We had a little bit of an unfortunate run in the middle of our season where we lost 3 league games by 1 score or less. So we were like 3 baskets away from being what would have been 21-6, which would have been a fantastic year. But anyway, 18-9 is also a fantastic year. So we got to our league championship and we played in an amazing basketball game where these guys laid it all out on the line, and we came up 4 points short, and we lost in overtime to Greater Grace. So stings a little bit, but it was still a very successful year. My favorite game for you guys was the MSD semifinal, where we came back in overtime, ended up beating MSD to go to the finals in a great game. And a lot of you guys were there in the stands. You traveled, not only the semifinal game, you traveled to the finals, and we really appreciate all the support. So a couple league awards. We had 3 league honors awarded. So 3rd team all conference, we got Danny Melendez. 2nd team all conference, we have Jaden Caesar, who also appeared in the All-Star game last night. And then 1st team all conference, we have Austin Leach, who also appeared in the All-Star game last night. And then on top of that, Jaden Caesar also won a state tournament award for all-team MCST. So you already have your medal for that one. But and that leads us to our last 2 individual awards. I want to start with a special award that I created just for this player. I call this the Impact Award. And I'm giving this player this award because he changed the game more than anyone on the court. He changed not only the defensive side of the court, he changed the offensive side of the court. He rebounded better than anyone I've ever coached. I have never seen a stretch of games like he had in the middle of our season, where I believe he went on a roll of 8 back-to-back double-doubles. I believe there was only 2 games where he didn't have at least 10 rebounds. I think he set a school single rebound record of 20 rebounds against New Life halfway through the season. Just an absolute dominant player. Jaden Caesar, this year I'm giving you the Impact Award. Jaden, I have appreciated all of the hard work that you put into basketball over the last 4 years. Am I allowed to say the Like I said, Jaden has received 2 offers to play collegiate basketball next year, and is trying to wait it out. We have hopes that there are more offers coming. Jaden, I have enjoyed every one of our long road trips this year to scout out where your home will be next year. I know that God has seen the hard work and the humility you've put into this sport over the last 4 years, and I can't wait to see how you continue to thrive. So, Impact Award goes to Jaden Caesar. Our final award, the Most Valuable Player Award, this goes to a young man who has put a lot of hard work into this basketball team. Austin Leach has, Austin Leach has been a 4-year varsity player. His freshman year, he was playing behind an extremely talented team. That team also went to a conference finals and lost to Greater Grace. A little bit of a repeat, but Austin, I think, observed those seniors. He learned from them not just how to play basketball, but how to lead, and stepped into a leadership role his sophomore year. And through his sophomore year, his junior year, and now his senior year, Austin has led this team and has grown not only as a basketball player, but as a leader. Austin, you've always been humble, you've always led by example, but from that sophomore year guy that kind of took care of your own self to the senior I saw going to teammates at timeouts, going to teammates at dead balls, putting his arm around guys, reminding them of what we were doing, lifting heads when people were discouraged. Austin became the leader and the captain that every coach wants to have on their team. And Austin, not only did you lead with character, but you also led with basketball skill. And so Austin gets the Most Valuable Player Award, but we also have to take some time to honor Austin for a personal achievement. In our final game, down to the wire, making me sweat, Austin scored his 1,000th career varsity point against Heritage Academy. Before I give this to you, I want to talk about how special this is. So in the 25 years or so that this school has had athletics, only 6, including Austin, varsity basketball players have reached 1,000 points in a career. It is a very, very difficult achievement to accomplish. Austin did this at a disadvantage because his sophomore year, it was the COVID year, and we only had 10 games, and they were all away. If you know anything about our schedule, that's about a third of the normal games. And so the fact that Austin was able to accomplish this task, even at the detriment of losing about 20 games where he was averaging like 16 points, is absolutely amazing. Austin, you have put in a lot of hard work, and it is my joy to welcome you to the 1,000 Point Club. Participation in our athletics. We couldn't do it without you. We are here because of parents. We are here because of all the other coaches. We're here because of all of the players that have come out to games. A couple of quick thank yous I want to shout out. First, where's Elias Stockton? He won MVP of the wrestling team. He's also most valuable fan award. Also most likely to get thrown out of the varsity basketball game for banging on a drum. I want to thank Jeff Leach. Mr. Leach has served this team over the last 2 years, recording every game, posting it to Facebook, watching it, and giving me expert analysis before we play anyone. I was always texting him, asking what defense they run, who are their shooters, and he was a great scout for us and a great team dad. I want to thank my 2 managers this year, Isaiah Klein and David Chesmore. Thank you for your commitment to this team, showing up to practices, showing up to games, keeping the book, and doing all that stuff that we need to happen behind the scenes. Thank my assistant coaches, Noah Segui and Joe McShay, for their seasoned advice, helping me stay calm and positive, even when these guys are giving me a heart attack on the court. And then finally, I know we've already done it, but can we give it up for Jen Brewer? Her tireless efforts behind the scenes. She sets up all the games. She makes sure there's rest there. She makes sure we have transportation to get to games. Sometimes refs pass out on the court and she has to run out to their car and find diabetes medicine. Jen does everything for us, and we would not be a successful program without her. So thank you.